Today we've got three very important things to talk about. A quick recap about some things that we've been talking about with the Plus and Premier package, and then we are going to talk about how important our relationships are with the crew members and maybe what is not okay, as well as what to do if you're not pleased with something about your cruise or any charges for your cruise. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please click on that subscribe button, and if you appreciate these updates, please give my video a thumbs up. Let's start at the top. I just wanted to do a quick recap. The last few days we have been talking an awful lot about the Plus package and the Premier package. We've got those price increases if you book them on board the ship, and it always begs the discussion again of whether or not we should be booking the Plus or Premier package. Really, my goal for you is to give you some things to think about, educate you a little bit about how to look at it so that you can decide what is best for you. I don't think you should book the Plus package. I don't think you should book the Premier package, and I don't think you should book no package. I think you should do whatever works best for you. I shared with you that with the advent of the faster Wi-Fi that is associated with the Plus package, I think from here on out, Gordon and I are going to need to get that. We both work when we're on board a ship as well as we do our videos, so that's a big deal to us, and we're willing to pay for it. So that is why it works really well for us. But I want you to kind of think about what works for you, and I wanted to make sure that that was really clear. So if you've got more questions, put them in the comments. I'm happy to go over things again another day. The two things that I've got to talk to you about are really important. There's a story that a lot of my colleagues that like to talk about cruising on YouTube talked about this week, and about the child who is 9 years old on a Carnival ship when his parents let him go off on his own, destroyed an arcade machine, and fought with another child. In the end, make it a quick story here, because it has been covered so much, he was banned for cruising for life by Carnival. And his parents said, well, let us pay for that arcade machine. And no, that didn't work, and I don't blame Carnival in this instance. So the thing I want you to remember about this is if you go on a cruise and take children with you, even if you think they're very well behaved, stick with them. Don't let them go around unsupervised. The cruise lines have amazing kids clubs. If you need to have a break, you feel like you want to do something and you don't want to take care of the children for a little while, have them go to the kids club, but make sure that you keep an eye on your children and are aware of what they're doing all the time, because sometimes very unexpected consequences crop up from their behavior, and we can't always just fix it by paying for something. Next step, this is a little bit sticky, but I think it's really important for us to talk about. I know that we have a lot of you with us that have amazing friendships with crew members on board cruise ships. I know that some of you have had friendships with crew members for well over 20 years. Watch them, move up through the ranks and are thrilled as they do better and achieve more with their careers. I know of some of you that have been invited to be godparents for children of crew members. What wonderful relationships you all have, and I think that's magnificent. Came across this story by the Points guy. He's also they are also the ones that reported on that 9-year-old child. And so I get a lot of stories from people, but I always like to make sure that they are a really good source. Points Guy is very well known. If you don't know about the Points Guy, shares excellent, that's a newsletter, shares a lot of useful information for travelers, free to sign up, the Points Guy. I don't get anything if you sign up, but I enjoy following their content. So, that they shared that, as well as the story, the instance that happened with a lady. She sailed on Norwegian Cruise Line, and she'd been on Norwegian before, enjoyed getting to know crew members, so she got their email addresses. When she returned home, she sent out emails to 30 of them to say thank you and see you again soon, is what she said she wrote. And next time she went to book a Norwegian cruise, it wouldn't let her book it. So to make a long story short, because of the content of the emails that that she had sent, she is banned from cruising on Norwegian. And so now she'll have to go on another cruise line if she wants to go on cruises. But it's made me think about this an awful lot. This came out a few days ago, and I've been thinking about it ever since. And so I want us to all remember, and I really hope we can have the discussion in the comments of really paying attention. Number one, read the room when you're with a crew member. Some people want to be more friends. Friends, I would use that term very loosely. Acquaintances that stay in touch. Some people do want to be friends. And so really read the room. Pay attention if you are talking to a crew member about what that seems to be more appropriate. And second of all, remember that you don't want to ever write anything or say anything or do anything that would get them in trouble. And so keep that in mind as well. And I think it's marvelous, though, the amazing friendships that come, and people become like family to each other. So I just wanted to share that story with you so that you're very conscientious and pay attention to things, and remember that some things in different cultures, in one culture is acceptable and in other cultures is not acceptable, and that could play a big difference, play an important role in what's going on as well. So keep that in mind when you're on board a cruise ship. But I love to get to know the crew members, and it's sweet to see when you get to see the same ones again. Alrighty, the last thing we're going to talk about today, and I think it's so important, is to know that when you go on a cruise, if there is something that you are not pleased with on your cruise, or you feel like you have charges on your account that don't belong there, there is an appropriate way to handle that, and there's a wrong way to handle it as well. And so when you go on a cruise, you pay for your cruise, you get on board the ship. If things are not just hunky-dory for you, go talk to guest services. They will do their very best to take good care of you. If you get home and you were not pleased with your cruise, it is not appropriate to call up your credit card company and put a hold on part of the charges for your cruise. The Points guy shared the story of a gal went on a cruise to Alaska, was not pleased. She wasn't happy because when she got on board, there was not a door adjoining the two cabins that she had booked. So the cruise line apologized, said we don't have any other cabins for you. And she complained so much that by the end of the cruise, they gave her $3,000, like $750 a person in her group to use on a future cruise. Well, when she got home, she still put a hold on her credit card for $3,000 and ended up getting her money back. But when she went to book another cruise, they said, hey, you can't book another cruise. You owe us $3,000 that the credit card company took back, and so you can't book another cruise. So in the end, she ended up paying them back the money and apologizing, and then she could book another cruise. So when you go on a cruise and you're not pleased with something, you go talk with them at guest services and do your best to get it worked out. Sometimes some things can't be fixed. So remember that, and you don't put a charge back on your card if you're not happy about it. You just don't go on that cruise line again. That would be my answer. If you really didn't like it that much, don't go again on that line. The next thing that is so important, and this is really the meat of what I want you to think about, is when you are on board a ship, you have your shipboard account. You attach a credit card or a debit card to that account, and at the end of the cruise, the charges will be settled to it. However, you get on board the ship, and in a day or two, you look at your credit card or your debit card, your bank account, and you notice that there is a hold on money. And that does not mean that those charges have been processed. It means there's a hold there. The cruise lines do that to make sure that you have enough credit left or enough money left in your bank account to pay for anything you might be charging on the ship. If you start charging a lot more, the amount that is in the hold is going to go up. So be aware of that. Don't panic when you see that. Nothing has been charged yet. But the important thing is to keep an eye on your shipboard account every single day. Make sure you know what the charges are for. If you see charges that you don't know what they are, get down to guest services and make sure you know what they're for and that they are yours. Second up, check your shipboard account before you get off the ship on the morning of disembarkation. Sometimes charges don't settle until the end of the cruise, and they will show up then. So if you've got a problem with anything or a question with anything, get over to guest services and get it straightened out before you get off the ship, because it's really hard to get it straightened out after you get off the ship. And there is ways to work on that. Princess has a way to go through and try to manage things that need to be taken care of after you get off a ship. And so ask your travel agent to help you with that if you have something come up like that. But don't immediately put a dispute on your credit card, because cruise lines keep an eye on that. And that's not the right way to handle it anyway. Make sure that you go through the proper channels. I want to make you aware of this. The Points Guy actually had their own thing called Consumer Rescue. And so if you are working with a cruise line or with an airline or a hotel and you don't know who you need to talk to get these problems ironed out, they know. They have a list, and so it's called Consumer Rescue. You can go there and find out who it is that you need to talk to at, email or call at whatever company it is that you need to work with. I think that's really very important, and you'll end up with a better resolve rather than just putting a dispute on your credit card. So in the end, you can put a dispute on your credit card if it really doesn't get ironed out and you're certain that the cruise line is in error, but I would be very reticent to do that. So let me know in the comments. I love your comments. I love to read what you have to say, and I love to read of your experiences. So share everything that would be benefit to anyone here about these things or anything else that's on your mind, and I look forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.